Yes, guys, how are we doing? Good. So this video is all about tracking habits. How do we track habits and how do we link them to our goals? So there's a few things that we can do. So first off, year one writing here, we're looking at habits. So how can we make sure that first off, we are making sure that we are achieving and creating habits? And habits is the key to achieving your goals. Now, I've set out goals this year. Some of them I've already achieved. And because of that, this is the system that's helped me work out what I can do to make sure that I'm achieving my goals consistently. So the first thing is I need to set out my goals. So I'm going to give an example here. So one of my goals to reach by March was to be able to bench press 105 kilograms for 5 reps. Now I've managed that goal. I've managed to achieve that goal. Now how have I managed to achieve that goal? Well, I've linked my habits to this. This is a habit tracker, and this tracks every single metric that I want to know about that's going to make me better or get me closer towards my goal. So as I mentioned before, this is a habit tracker that allows me to track certain systems, certain things. And this habit tracker itself is designed to help me focus on the things that I know I need to improve on. So the first thing is being my wake up time. Now, I used to wake up really early, and in all honesty, I've changed that since having a team. Obviously, I'm still in my 9 to 5 at the moment, and because of that, I have to manage time as effectively as possible. And because of that, I don't sleep as long as what I would like to. I'd like to get a solid 8-9 hours a night. At the moment, I'm getting about 5 to 6. And because of that, it's having a detrimental effect sometimes on my performance. So I track the times I fall asleep, and I track the times that I wake up. As you can see here on the Sunday, I laid in till 12:38 because I was absolutely exhausted. And sometimes you're going to have to do things like that, because what I found is that I do get burnt out quite easy. So I need times and I need days where I actually just need to reset. Now, because of that, one thing that's really important is linking your habits to your goals. So let's say, for example, I'm bulking and I've worked out my calories of what I need to hit to be able to get to the weight that I want to get to. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to track my calories. Now, how do I track my calories? Well, I use MyFitnessPal. If anyone knows it, it's probably one of the best apps out there for tracking calories. I have a set of electric scales as well that are really helpful. And what I do is I track my goals. So I track my calories and then I put my daily calories here of what I've had, for example, on the 1st of March, 2nd of March, 3rd of March, 4th of March, 5th of March. And then it's going to work out the average for the month. There. Another example is I wanted to grow my business to $10,000 a month. We're close to hitting that. However, one thing that I want to track and make sure that we're doing as a team, not only for me, but as a team, is how many cold calls, how many dials are we making a day to make sure that we're booking meetings in. That's another thing. Another thing being a prime example here is my productivity score. Now I have a habit tracker and a daily planner. The daily planner will plan out my day, and then I give myself a score based on what tasks I complete, the percentage that I'm at, and the focus that I've had on a task. Now, because of that, this allows me and gives me a really good idea of where I'm at with things. I also have a money tracker, which is this one here, that allows me to track everything coming into my account and everything going out my account. And what that does is it helps me, number one, check so I know that things that are going out of my account are the correct things, but also comes to address things like, for example, if I'm spending a lot in a certain category, then I know I need to cut that spending down. Or, for example, if I need to invest in myself, then looking at the right time to do that. And so just tracking everything allows me to become more aware of my problems and my issues and where my money is going, for example, if it was money that I was focusing on. Another thing is, if I'm bulking, I track my weight. That's another thing. I plan my day. So everything is systemized and optimized to make sure, number one, that I'm performing at the best possible output that is linking to my goals. So how do I do this? So we're going to use the cold calls as an example. So I know that I want to make, let's say, quarterly for this quarter. So what that means is January, February, and March, I want to make 10,000 pounds from my business. Okay. Now, what I can do from that is, well, what are the simple actions that are going to get me to that price, that money goal? Well, it's going to be cold calls. So I need to set and track how many cold calls I'm making in the month on an average. And what that average is going to do then is, because we worked out the average, then we know, okay, so we've hit on average 155 cold calls this month, and we've booked this amount of meetings. And from this amount of meetings, we close this amount of people. We need to up this for the next quarter, or we need to keep going this next quarter, or we need to up the volume even more and double it the next quarter to hit the goal of, let's say, £15,000. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. And then what you do from here is you're just tracking the metrics. And I just do this in an Excel spreadsheet and I do this every night because the stuff that you systemize, it just becomes a routine. And if it becomes a really good routine, and I'm a sucker for a good routine. And so if it becomes a good, positive routine that works for you, then what you'll find is that you're going to be in a situation in no time where you're achieving and hitting your goals. Now, hopefully this video clears up how I do track my habits, how I get to the places that I get to. Now, one other thing I do as well is if I haven't done it, then I put it in red. Now, I don't train every single day. And the main reason for that is that I don't want to overtrain, because if you overtrain, I'm in a real difficult situation really where I have found myself getting burnt out a fair bit. And so I have to be really careful about what I do. And so I'm starting to learn and understand my body. And the main reason I get burnt out is because I don't get enough sleep, because I work too much. And you come to know what works for your body and what doesn't. And so you just got to keep going and finding out what works best for you. But for sure, tracking the habits, knowing when you're waking up, going to bed, for example, if you've posted content or not. So these are all inputs that are directly correlated to my goals. I do the input every day, I'm going to get closer to my goal. It's as simple as that. Hopefully this frees it up. What I want you to do is set your goals, find out what inputs you need to do, the things that are going to get you to the goal, and then put them in a habit tracker and start tracking the data. Hopefully this helps, guys. As always, feel free to leave a like or comment if you found this video useful. And as always, remember, guys, take action.